I was introduced to John and Sarah Graham by a mutual friend. They were familiar with my research into the paranormal and had seen one of my exhibitions. They wanted to ask me about the ghosts I had studied. Over lunch, they seemed fixated on how the ghosts in my shows were visible in physical space. I asked them why that was surprising. "Well, you see," Sarah said, "our ghost lives in the mirrors." I was very skeptical at first. With my work, I get people telling me their ghost stories all the time. The truth is, I really didn't believe in ghosts. After a lengthy conversation about my doubts and their privacy, John and Sarah trusted me and invited me to photograph in their home. Their children, Ashley and Kevin, were unimpressed. Frankly, so was I. There was no girl. John said, "She doesn't know you yet," and then added, "I wish she still didn't know me." Sarah pleaded with me to stick around, to come back a few times. After several visits, I was about to write this off as another hoax, when one evening Sarah called from the bathroom, "She's here." "Okay," I said. "I'm moving in." To my surprise, they agreed. Over the next 2 months, the Grahams granted me unprecedented access to their house and their lives. These are my photographs from that time. Sarah told me there was nothing unusual about the house until Kevin was 6 and surprised her one day with a question. She told me, "He asked me, 'Mommy, who's the girl in the mirror?'" Soon all the family members, including Ashley, could see the girl, and before long she became commonplace. Never making a sound, she would simply walk into a room, only visible through a reflection. She was there, but not there. And there was a sort of shimmery quality about her. The Grahams are quite private. I've changed their names for this story, and they've only told a few people, family members, trusted friends, about their unusual housemate. Kevin is a shy, quiet boy who mostly keeps to himself. Ashley is a teenager, though, and has been allowed to have friends over. We've asked her friends not to tell anybody, Sarah says, but they probably will at some point. From my observation, her friends couldn't care less. "Can you make her go away?" asked Ashley one night. Sarah actually seemed to be more at ease when the girl was around. "We don't know what to call her," Sarah told me. "I've tried a few names, but she just walks away." The Historical Society doesn't have any record of a girl of her age living in that house in the early years. John seemed less interested, maybe uneasy with the girl's presence. "A lot of times I just ignore her, but sometimes you can't," he told me. Things were good for the Grahams when they bought the house. Kevin was 2, Ashley 7. Sarah just made partner at her firm, and John was a marketing consultant. But times were tougher now. Hours were longer. Work nights ran later. One day I noticed that the girl, who I've nicknamed Edith, whispered into Kevin's ear. When I asked him later if he could hear the girl speak, he said no, but he became red in the face. After 2 months of photographing, I became quite fond of the girl, but I felt my shooting had run its course, and I moved out. Sometime later, Sarah phoned me to say they were selling the house, and that she and John were divorcing. "I'd keep the house if I could, but I can't," Sarah said. I could hear her stifling tears over the phone. "The hardest part," she said, "is that I can't take her with me." After the house sold, I called the new residents under the guise of being from the realtor's agency. I asked them if everything was okay with the house. "The plumbing is a bit of a mess," the man told me. "Well," I said, "please call me if anything else shows up."
Look at me in the mirror, my analogy, and yes, it seems that I have a way that is something strange. You know, I never thought I was a beauty queen, and I never felt like a part of the scene, but when I look at you and you look at me,